What's up? What is happening? Welcome to another episode of Respect the Court. And so here we are. Most teams have played anywhere between 10 and 13 games at this point of the season. And there's been so much I've wanted to talk about in the last week or two, but I don't know. There it is. Life is life. But we all know at this point that Nico Harrison is now a former employee of the Dallas Mavericks organization. To those who do not know, Nico Harrison was the architect in getting Luka Doncic traded from Dallas to Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Lakers specifically, in a trade that sent him and, oh my goodness, I forget who else, for Anthony Davis and Max Christie, which to any knowledgeable basketball fan seemed like the most backward, uneducated, foolish, dumbest kind of trade that you can make. Now, I get it. Well, not really, but I get it in terms of using the age-old quotation of defense wins championships, yada, yada, yada. But the reason why so many people were upset, well, Dallas Mavericks fans were so upset with this trade is you took at the time, 24, 25-year-old generational talent. Yes, his defense wasn't great, but you work around that. And you trade him away for, at the time, a 30-year-old, injury-prone, fading all-star. Now, I say fading with all due respect, because Anthony Davis can still he can still get you numbers. But at what consistency, right? Up until this point for this season, he's only played 5 games. 5 games. And we're not even 3 weeks into the season. Like, seriously, man, come on. What is your workout regimen during the off season? What is your training regimen during the season to keep your body strong? This is insane. So that's why so many people had huge issues with the trade. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Like, what are we actually doing here, right? So here is a take from Charles Barkley talking about situations.
The Mavs were a mediocre team until he made those trades. He was doing a good job. Then he had the bad luck with Anthony Davis never being available, basically. But the thing that bothers me is he's just being made a scapegoat. Listen, Shaq knows this, Kenny knows this. There's no way in the world Nico Harrison had the power to trade Luka Doncic unless the owner of the team signed
Patrick
off.
Dumont.
Yes. That was his call. So I feel bad the way Nico is being made a scapegoat. But anybody who knows anything about basketball know good and well Nico Harrison did not have enough power to trade Luka Doncic. So that's the thing that bothers me. He's had a streak of bad luck with Anthony Davis and Kyrie both getting hurt. But the premise of this trade is Nico Harrison. I hear all these fools and idiots on TV talk. Nico Harrison going to be the guy who traded Luka Doncic. No, the Dallas Mavericks organization made that call.
So I agree, totally agree with Charles on that take. Where in the end, it is up to ownership to make the trade. It's not Nico who has the power to make the trade. Absolutely not. No general manager can do that. However, like I said in the beginning, Nico Harrison was the architect behind this, meaning he had to sway, convince, argue for the fact that Luka was not the player of the future. That Luka was the reason why they were not going to get over the hump. Mind you, that team had just been to the NBA Final the previous season. So I'm not understanding why Nico thought that was going to be a good thing to put that plug in the owner's ear. But also, the owner is to blame as well. And I've always had this issue with all of these rich billionaire types who really don't follow basketball, and they're more businessmen than anything else, and they treat the ownership of a team as nothing more than a hobby instead of an actual franchise to run and to understand how to win. Understand that, yeah, you need to put butts in the seats. I get that. You need to make sure that money is coming in, but you also need to make sure that your number one incentive is to ensure that fans are pleased with the product. And as far as most people were concerned, fans were pleased with having Luka as their franchise player and having a surrounding cast around him, and it worked. He was good in the community. He was enjoying his time there. So I don't understand from the owner's standpoint why he clearly wasn't invested enough in the team to understand the dynamics of how the team operated and how your star player is an asset. I don't understand that at all. So, yeah, I get it. What's done is done, and it was time to move on. Mainly for the fact that I believe the owner just had to save face because the owner understood that he made a mistake. And, yeah, the only way that you can clear that mistake is to use Nico as a scapegoat, which I believe he was. I agree with Charles, and this is what you have. But again, you as the owner of a basketball team should understand the product that you have. If you buy a business, you understand the components of the business, right? If you're running a pizza shop, you understand the inventory. How much does the pepperoni cost? How much does the cheese cost? What vendors are you working with? How often do I have to change out the machine? Is the machine running well? When did we buy the machine? Like, there are things that you are supposed to know as the owner. And the fact that you let this guy convince you that you had to get rid of your generational talent speaks volumes to me and just shows me that you're not a basketball person anyway. And why do you deserve to own a team? Because, oh, I have the billions to pay for it. Sure, why not? Yeah. So Dallas Mavericks fans, hey, maybe for this you have some form of poetic justice. I don't know. But in the end, it wasn't all on Nico. It definitely was a bit of, not even a bit, it was the owner as well, because at the end of the day, he's the one that signs the checks for everybody, and he's the one that makes the ultimate decision. So there it is. Anyhow, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.